Okay, so I'm sharing my screen.
Sure. Yes, go ahead.
I think you need to stop it, then I can share it. Okay. Hope you people are able to see my screen.
Yes, as of now it is Zoom
Yeah.
Window.
Perfect. Okay, so thanks for nice introduction and quite excited. Few of you are well known to me, and thanks for taking time out on a very interesting topic, that is emotional intelligence and leaders EQ, how it is influencing unlocking the agile success. That's the topic which we are going to discuss, and also powered by Gen. Why we use the Gen philosophy also we'll discuss as we keep moving. So the very first thing I want to tell is there are few topics which are very close to my heart. Definitely emotional intelligence has been one of my favorite topics out of a few others. And by divine grace, I think I got an opportunity to go through these almost like 7-8 years back. And post that, I did trained numerous sessions enabling coaching middle level to the top leaders in few of the organizations. Yeah, so that's the thing. And obviously you have seen my intro. So any one of you want to stay connected? So here is the LinkedIn QR code. You can scan and you can stay connected. If you want to discuss on any of the areas on the right hand side, you feel that I can be helpful in a mentoring or coaching. So absolutely
Yes,
feel
sorry, Rama, we can't see your screen. We can only see the Zoom window. Can you please share the presentation?
I am sharing the presentation. Let me stop it and I can share it then. Okay, let me share. Let me share the entire screen if that works. What about now?
Yes, now I can see. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So if you want to stay connected with me, feel free. You could see the QR code of the LinkedIn. And I believe that every one of us are born to win. There is no other second view or thought anyone should have. We came onto this earth means we came here to win. Yeah, that's with that. Getting into our topic, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. It's by Aristotle, and what it means is it brings two important faculties. One is IQ, the other one is EQ, right? So by default in our system, in our education system everywhere, right? So there is a lot of things that was there to educate your mind, but not to the heart. And that is the reason why there are few organizations taking up this initiative and also introducing certain courses at certain part of the education. It's a very budding stage, I would say. And definitely corporates, few of the multinationals have realized the importance of emotional intelligence, and they do have some programs for the leadership and for the teams, right? So reflection point for us is how much we have already educated our mind and how much we have already educated our heart. If not, so it is the time to make that happen to be successful. And before getting into, I would like to all of you have an experience of mindfulness for 3 minutes. So I request each one of you to be in silence. Close your eyes and just follow my guidelines. And sit comfortably in your posture wherever you are. And if you are wearing spectacles like me, you can keep it aside for a few seconds to a minute. Okay. Just follow what I'm saying. So we are going to do some breathing technique, right? That's a mindfulness session just to bring you a taste and flavor of it. Okay. And because this is very, very relevant and very impactful and value add for all of us. That is the reason why I want to do this practice before getting into any of the thing, because I believe in giving experience. Okay, close your eyes, sit straight, keep your spinal cord, your backbone straight, erect but not stiff. Okay, feel flexible, because that's where you have all your power centers where your energy flows, right? That's the reason it should be straight, erect but not stiff. Place your hands comfortably at your convenience. Gently close your eyes. Bring all your focus onto your breath. Just observe your natural flow of breathing pattern. No pressure, no force. Just at the tip of your nostrils, observe the natural inflow and the natural outflow. For the moment, erase any thoughts that comes into your mind. Just focus on your breath pattern. Now with force, exhale. That means breathe out with force. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Back to your normal breathing. No pressure. Just observe the natural inflow and outflow of your breath. Bring your focus onto your chest area, that is your heart space. Observe the subtle movements, or if you can hear your heartbeat, that is awesome. Let's fill our heart with kindness, empathy, love, positivity, compassion. With that, back to your breath. Just observe your natural breathing. Make some movements to your body at your convenience. Shake your hands, shake your legs, make gentle movements at your sitting posture, and slowly you can open your eyes and back to the session. Okay. Anyone first time you are experiencing this, or you have done this multiple times? If any one of you done first time, you can just put into the chat saying first time. And any of you have some special experiences, or you feel good, refreshing, or anything, you can just say whatever you want to say in the chat, because the more you engage, the more impact that you will get, the more learning you will get from the next few minutes of the session. Okay. And why we practice this mindfulness? The reason is, and this is also called as centering or balance technique, because this is one of the powerful ways where you can bring your emotions into the control. And sometimes the resilience power, that means you coming back to your natural state. Am I right? So in our corporate world, in your personal lives, at any point of time, there could be various reasons that our emotions could be disturbed, which you don't want to be, and you want to be back to your natural state. And this is the very powerful centering technique. So in the interest of the time, I did it a little bit fast, but you could do at your own pace when situation demands, but a very simple, powerful and impactful technique. And if it excites you, you can just put E1 in the chat. Okay. Let's keep going. And from where this came, so no doubt everything has its roots in Sanatana, but however the modern world of the mindfulness, it comes from the Western, that word, but obviously it has the roots into the meditation. So that's where Zen, meaning meditation in Japanese, is a school of Buddhist thought, emphasis on personal experience and introspection. Right. So when you go inside, later when you keep practicing this, if you are not habituated that, it also helps you to go inside of you and do the retrospection for yourself, like how we do in the Agile world, the reflections. Right. So with that, coming to the corporate world, it could be IT, non-IT, or anything. Right. People with high emotional intelligence are usually more successful. It is not just a statement; it's a research fact and research finding. Right. They may not have gone through the emotional intelligence courses or any degrees or certificates, but might be over their experience and other stuff they would have got it. But when they did the research, right, they see a lot of people who are very successful. They are very good and high at emotional intelligences. Why? So if you have any thoughts, when 1-2 words, you can keep sharing in the chat. I'm not saying why. As we progress, we will identify the reason. At this stage, if you have a notepad or you have a notebook, whichever you are taking notes, if any of you, please do have your comment for yourself. If you could share in the chat, that is beautiful. Otherwise, you can have it in your own notes also, why you think these people are very successful and why these people are very high in the emotional intelligence. Right. So this is our backlog for today's session. So in Agile world, we all go with the product backlog and then sprint backlog. Right. So if we take our session as today's sprint, so introduction we done, EI importance, we started Agile and EI in the Agile space because this Agile series. So in Agile and emotional intelligence, how they are connected. And we'll also do some assessment where in 5 minutes, you'll be able to know your own UQ. And there are certain guidelines that to be followed, right? Otherwise, you end up having a wrong output. And what are the EI competencies? And that would be a reflection for us to know in which areas I'm good, which areas I'm mastered, or which areas I need to focus. Right? That talks about the EA competencies. And there is a beautiful thing that's called amygdala hijack. It happens to all of us. But if you're already aware of, that's beautiful. Otherwise, that is going to be another mind-blowing understanding that will help you as you progress. And I will also share you some resources, not just to limit to this session, but beyond in your life journey. You can continuously stay connected with those resources and enrich and evolve yourself. And we'll also have a QA session. Okay. So I am taking a pause here. Is the pace and everything is okay? Can anyone say yes, no? Able to hear, able to see what we are discussing? Able to get connected? Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
and already you have already practiced one powerful technique, that is mindfulness. Okay, and that's going to be with you throughout your life whenever you want to practice. Right. This is coming again from AI. Okay, so AI cannot replace EI, that is emotional intelligence, but it can aid in providing certain informations. When we talk about what all the top leadership skills that a person should possess, right? You will not see here artificial intelligence, you will not see here cloud, you will not see here agile or anything. But these are the skills that top leadership has to possess, right? And out of which you will see the communication 9 out of 10, emotional intelligence 9 out of 10. Not only in AI, you do any research anywhere, top leadership skills, EI is going to have the top place. That shows how important it is, the emotional intelligence. The very simple common sense logic is, I may work in Azure, I may work in Google, I may work in Microsoft, I may work in any of the cloud platforms, I may work in a sales organization, I may work in a marketing organization, I may work in it anywhere. You are working with people. When we work with the people, the most important skill that we need to possess is emotional intelligence. That's the simple, and that's the secret, and that's the open secret, I would say. Am I right? That is the reason why it was given such a high importance. And emotional intelligence and leadership, right? So when we see the strengths of leadership who are at high EQ, am I right? So these 8 are there. There could be many, but what I want you people is you make a note, because you all are leaders. Am I right? Every Scrum Master is a mini coach, right? And obviously, if you are a coach, obviously you are at a higher level of responsibility of spreading the leadership quality, especially that is the servant leadership qualities. In any of these 8, if you think these 2, 3 are important for me, make a note. This is all for yourself. And if you think I am good here, but I think I need to do more here, still make a note. And if you want to think I am absolutely brilliant, this 1, 2, 3, 4, make a note, because that will give you a self-reflection and assurance saying, I am a leader, or I want to be a leader. I am good at these things. I need to focus on these things. So I am not reading line by line here. Am right? So put people at ease, able to inspire and motivate. Able to inspire and motivate. That's the important thing. And what is assertive? Am right? This is mostly mistaken or mostly neglected, because that word itself is slightly different. Some of the people absolutely brilliant in that. In simple, what I would say is, don't say yes when you want to say no. That is assertiveness. And when there is something we keep talking about in Agile world, empowerment, right? You are empowered to tell something, you are empowered to do something, and there is some blocker is happening, you need to be assertive. You need to raise your voice. When I say you need to raise your voice, the voice has to be supported by the data points, not with the subjectivity, but with objectivity. That is very, very important. So these people always believe in supportive culture. They know their strengths first, and they also know the team strength first. Without knowing your strengths, you cannot know the team strengths. Right? So knowing the strength itself is a topic, so I will not go there, but I want to give you one tip here. If you are not aware of, or if you think you are aware of also, I would suggest do some research and identify your strengths. That is going to bring a big scaling or turning of your career itself once you know your strengths. It is not only success, it also brings happiness. When you are, or myself, or any one of us, or see anybody in your network, success will come to many people, but success with happiness comes with few people. Okay, so that is a topic on its own. So, but my request is know your strengths. Okay, and if you need some help on that, connect me offline. So easy communication flow, able to find solutions quickly. That is what agility, right? Adaptability has to be there. So there is a good important information here for each one of you to reflect, and also have some actions that is going to help and scale you in your career aspirations. So what emotions have you experienced in the past 24 hours or in the recent times? I request each one of you close your eyes and just reflect to yourself in the last 24 hours or in the recent times, what is that emotion that you have been through? It could be any. It could be positive, negative, anything. What emotion have you experienced in the recent times? Open your eyes. Am I right? So is there any person who says, I have not experienced anything in the recent times? Anyone? Okay. So PMIPCC team, I request you to scan through if anything happening on the chat, because I'm sharing the screen, I can't see. If you need anything, want to bring to my attention, please voice it out. Okay. If anyone is there saying, no, I did have experienced any emotion in the recent times, definitely he is like our Rama Maharshi. Yeah? We have to just pray to him. So I am not saying that is impossible. It is possible, but in general, it is impossible. right? So that shows the importance. And now, whatever emotions you have gone through in the recent time, right? Connect to one of these. Do you see anything not related to this? Any one of you? If so, you can share your experience. That means you are understanding your emotion. You are labeling your emotion in the previous exercise of when you went into silence and reflecting. And now you are tagging to the trigger. So that emotion came because of people. That emotion came because of place where you are in or situation. It is a time, different times, or some words that has been used, right? So you did multiple things in the last 2 minutes. Identifying, labeling, and attaching a trigger to that. Okay, so these are all very powerful techniques we are keep experiencing ourselves, so that when something happens in your world, emotionally you disturb, you have to practice these things, right? Why I am disturbed? What is that emotion happened? Who is the person, or what is the trigger for that? Once you know, it is very easy for you to get the solution. Okay, so these are some of the life examples. I'm right. I will not spend too much of time. It is self-explanatory, but I'll just take one word. Okay, so minor setback. It is minor setback for us, but for the person who is experiencing, it could be a lifetime setback. Because many of us, all of us, I think we are with some 10, 15, 20 years of experience or less or experience. If we say today, in 10th class, I got 70%, 60%, कुछ फर्क पड़ता है? अभी? No. But the guy who was expecting that he needs to get 95% and he got 92%. He's expecting 95, but he got 92. From outside world, we think it is a minor setback, but the person who is experiencing, you all know. Okay, so we have to see from the world's perspective if you want to really analyze and understand whether it is a minor setback or a major setback. It is all in our mind, in our thinking, and hope people recognize the celebrity here. Anyone want to name who is the celebrity? Yes, no?
We got good number of responses. Mahesh Babu.
Thank you. So what he said is, no, one of the best things he did in the pandemic times is he went through this book, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. So Daniel Goleman is the person, I would say, like a father of the emotional intelligence in this modern world. I'm not saying he's the architect or inventor, but he brought into some components and framework for us to learn and evolve, and he's doing fantastic service to that. So Mahesh Babu in the pandemic times, he said one of the best thing he did is he read through. And these scenarios we know, I'm right, honking at the car, partner struggling, something happened, came to house and yelling at the kid, and you are enjoying beautiful moments in the cinema. Someone just touched you and disturbed your enjoyment moments of the popcorn. What all things happen in these moments? You are on the other side, or you are the person on the impacted side. How do you behave, or how do you experience that? Am I right? Points for reflection. When we are on the other side, we think someone is wrong, but when we are in a different side, our perceptions, our emotions, the reactions varies in most of the cases. Okay, just a point for us to reflection and where we have to do. And the down is very, very important. 98 students, IITs, NITs, central universities, from IIMs. What does this mean? These people from all these extremely top-notch universities, someone has to get in. We all know how much of the hard work, how much of the intelligence they should possess, but these people has gone through committing suicides. The reason is they are very high in IQ, but very poor in EQ. So it is our responsibility also, some of the seniors in the system, to educate and bring the awareness to the next gen, the importance of emotional intelligence. Otherwise, we are going to see more and more diverses, more and more separations, more and more conflicts, more and more unhappy people, in spite of having villas, bench cars, whatever it is. Okay, so for some of us, we have to learn ourselves. For some of the people who are seniors, it is also a responsibility to cascade importance of this subject. Okay, so IQ is fine, but EQ is very, very important. So here I am just giving this uh, link. I will give you people 5 minutes. I am typing this in the chart. I am typing this in the chart. Please access the link, and each one of you need to do this EQ text in 5 minutes. Okay, and before you do, I will bring my screen once again up. Hope you are able to see. The critical important thing you have to do is, when you are answering, you should answer how you behave, not what you think. Every one of us think, but the way when the situation happens, how we behave varies. Am I right? So when you're answering, I would suggest you be brutally be truth to yourself, because this is going to help you. You are not going to share this outcome to anybody. It is only for your reflection. So keep this golden words: answer how you behave, not what you think. With that, I would request to click this link in your browsers, either it mobile, wherever it is. So you will see what I am seeing here in my screen. So go down, you will see test your emotional intelligence with our free EQ quiz, emotional intelligence quiz, EI quiz, that is your EQ. So now it is 11:04. By 11:09, you should stop it. The reason is, if you are taking more time, means actually you are lying to yourself. That is so simple. Okay, I'll be in silence for the next 4 minutes. There is no right wrong. What you think, don't do. What you behave, you mark it. If any of you have completed, you can just type in the chat saying I'm done. Definition of done, we'll recap. Agile practices. brilliant. A lot of people have done this. Big round of applause for the people has done doing for both. At yourself, you have done something new if you have not done in the past. And I am not saying you may have got 100% right, 100% wrong, but at least you are able to do certain reflection on your EQ and your EI skills. Right. So I think we are on top of the minute. So Gokul, can I go back to my screen?
Yes, please.
Or you want me to give a minute? In the interest of the time, go back to the screen. Brilliant. Awesome. Team, a big round of applause for every one of you. I saw when you're doing the exercise, I was just going through the chart. Very interactive, very productive. You are highly engaged. Right now, we are discussed and recapping 3 important things. Why EI is important, and especially in the leadership. So you have some checklist for you to reflect. You have one powerful tool practice already in your pocket, that is mindfulness session. And this is another exercise which you have done on emotional intelligence. So in the last few minutes, once we started, you already made worth of value on investing on this Saturday with PMIPCC. Am I right? So if you think yes, you can keep typing yes in the chat. So on this emotional intelligence, whatever you got the outcome, what I want to reflect and bring to you is, if you are getting extreme, am I right? If you are getting extreme, either too good or too bad, work with your partner or your colleague or your friend who knows you better than you. There can't be anybody who knows you better than you, but I'm still using that word so that there is someone who knows about you, and reflect with him and do the reflection that brings you the real EQ. Okay, so it is an action for you. If you feel, do that, it is going to do magic in your lives. Okay, once you know, these are the areas which you have to focus. Obviously, you know where you want to move. And coming to the Agile space, all right, so this is Agile series, all right, why EI is more important in Agile. Before even getting to the values and principles, one important thing I want to bring is the fundamental difference. The crux and the core of the Agile is the power shift. What I mean by power shift? The power is in the hands of the team. It is not in the hands of the Scrum Master, not in the hands of the manager or your leader. That is the power shift. Rama, is this really happening? I would say no. But that is the goal, that is the aim that we have to transform. That is the reason why we had the transformation consultants. We have the transformation coaches. There could be very few on this planet at this point of time who are matured at that level, but there are 60 to 70% in the journey. Am I right? The crux and the core of Agile is the power shift. The power is with the teams. They are empowered. They are self-organized. That is the leader's organization responsibility to bring that culture. If they are not doing, that is a different problem. But that is the whole thing. When the crux is and the core is the power shift and it is the team, am I right? What happens when the power shift from a single person to a team? You need to have more conversations. You need to have more interactions. You need to have positive conflicts. When you do all these things more effectively, what you need, you have to be emotionally balanced. You have to understand the emotion of others. Right? That is the reason why when it comes to the agile, the emotional intelligence plays very, very, very big role compared to the other. It is not a command control center. One manager is giving task and others are doing. If that is happening now, that is fine. But at least they have to transform at some point of time. Otherwise, you are just labeling agile in waterfall. There are, in my first book, I have written saying there are labeled organizations, they are doing organizations, they are being organizations. Labeled organizations are dominating the industry. That is a fact. And we see doing organizations and we see very few on the being the organization. The truth reality always is very small. Right? And coming to the values, in Agile, we talk about Agile values and Agile principles. I'm not going to talk about detailed level of principles and values because most of us are known to this one. And if one of you can also share Agile manifesto link in the chat for the people who are non-Agile, they can go through them. What is the Agile values or principles? Any one of you can just do that for me. That would be nice. Agile manifesto link put into the chat. In 4 values are there. In 4 values, 2 values you see emotional intelligence is dominating. And in 12 principles, you see 6 principles are having emotional intelligence dominating. And you may say, Rama, I think I can add another one. I can add another 2. Nothing wrong. Absolutely right. The crux and important thing what we have to see is in your Scrum guide, in any of your training programs, when you get through the Scrum certification, ABC, XYZ, any of the Agile certifications, they talk to you about these things, but how you want to be successful in this, you need to be good at EI. That comes at a coaching, Agile coaching, some of the certifications and other, but even at a Scrum Master level, that's where you see the beauty of the PMIPCC. Right? They do have one of the module on the emotional intelligence. So if you have not done, I would suggest to explore and do that at your convenience. I'm not mandating it, but I have done. So, and many of my teams have done. So I'm just sharing our experience into that. If you want to be in agile ways of working, you have to master agile values and principles. And if you want to be successful in your agile values and principles, and the crux and the core of the power shift that has happened to be successful, you need to be good at emotional intelligence. That's the key important message from this Agile manifesto. And we keep talking about in Agile saying, no, principles, practices are all okay, but it is all depends upon as a person in my mindset, how I am taking it and how I am practicing it. And right, so to achieve a project success, you have to transform individuals, all these things, self-organized, adaptive. I've been talking on this same lines, so I'm not talking again here. It is a mindset. So when we talk about a mindset, very initially we discussed about mind and heart, right? Both has to be mastered if you want to be successful in this one. And here another powerful tip technique. I think this will revolutionize if someone of you have not mastered or known this one. If some of you have done, brilliant. Please do share your experience in the chat. Reaction versus response. What is your choice? In day-to-day, every 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the corporate world or personal world, we have to do either of the one. Am I right? And what is the difference? And common language, we use both the things one and the same. Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong. But in the corporate world, when we are in a mini coaches, super coaches, enterprise coaches, team coaches, want to become a leaders, it makes difference. Am I right? So mindset is a choice. So what you want to do, that means you want to react or you want to respond, and how that varies. Am I right? So, but you can always control your response or your reaction. Success is the sum of your daily choices. Either you are reacting or responding. Am I right? So what I'm going to say is not easy, but is always worth in it. So what I'm going to say, put in the golden framework, am I right saying never react, always respond. Never react, always respond. What is the difference? In reaction, your emotion dominates your intellect. In response, your intellect dominates your emotion. You are at best of your personality when your intellect is at best, not when your emotion is at best. So that's why, for example, you got a mail from a a customer, your leader, your colleague, whoever it is, totally disturb you. You have been working day and night to burn out your oil. You are working beyond C shift. Someone early morning has sent a mail saying, what is that you have done? I can't see anything. So blood boils. I'm right. So I've been not having sleep, not having dinner, not having everything. I sacrifice my weekend, everything. And this guy suddenly comes and saying, very difficult to accept it, correct? Emotion dominates. When your emotion is dominating, don't send any communications. Hold it. If you think it is worth to hold for 3 hours, hold it. If you think it is not so important immediately to respond or react, you can do on the next day, hold it. You can type everything but put in the draft. Always when you take a decision on all your important transactions, respond, don't react. The sum of your responses will decide your success, decide your happiness, decides your career growth, not on the reactions. These are the golden words. Frame it and keep it for your reference and for your reflection. Okay, and take accordingly the actions. Understand emotions with the teams. I'll just go quick here because these are all we know, but I just want to ensure that we touch upon these important things. Sorry. Yeah. So the emotion clearly shows, I'm right, someone is yelling, antipathy, someone is avoiding. Oh, I don't care, apathy, am right? Someone is showing sympathy. All three are not relevant, not good. You may debate with me, but not at the best of emotional intelligence. That's what I mean to say. Sympathy is also better, but not the exact thing. But what we actually need to have is that empathy plus action. That's why we keep talking about psychological safety, right? That is empathy. And we'll discuss a little detail the difference between sympathy and empathy in just 1 minute. Okay. So empathy plus action. Just having empathy, what is that? But you need to also have some action. Empathy for action, that is the psychological safety that brings to your team. When the psychological safety is there, the trust, open communication, all this will be at their best. When all these are at their best, the performance will be at their best. Correct? This we all know. But how to achieve it? These are some of the things that we have to do. And here you could see the Tuckman's team and group development model. For high performing teams, right, that itself is a class on its own, but we are not going to discuss about all these things. But any team, they go through this Tuckman's model: forming, storming, norming, performing. After that, there is a fifth one. What is that? Team? Any one of you? What is the fifth stage?
Adjourning.
Adjourning. Correct. Perfect. Super. Perfect. Super. I am adding the sixth one. The sixth one is inspiring. Okay. You are forming, you are storming, you are norming, you are performing, you are adjourning, but you need to inspire. That is the ultimate success of as a team you have done. You are inspiring yourself for the next engagement. You are inspiring others. The inspiration part is very, very important. That is okay. At that point of time, Tuckmans would have thought this 5 is enough. But my experience, I think the sixth one plays very, very CSF, that you have been through all these phases and doing it. And why we are talking about this one in the emotional intelligence class, I already told PMIPCC has this beautiful module about Tuckman, emotional intelligence, all these things. If any one of you want to do, please do. Don't think the PMIPCC has endorsed me to talk about this. I am talking on my personal interest, because my personal interest is evolution of all of you. That's the only interest. My knowledge sharing, my experiences, benefiting, touching at least few of the lives. Am right? If not anywhere, get the knowledge of what the emotional intelligence is the important thing. Am right? So across the phases, you have to change your leadership style. How you can change your leadership style? You have to understand the emotions of the team. You have to be aware about your emotions also. When you are about having understanding, awareness of your status and the team status, then that will give you the power to play different roles. Otherwise, the team is at one stage, you are at a different emotion. What will happen? It becomes all conflicts. All right. So all these through the stages, different roles has to be played. The crux to be successful there is you are good at your emotional intelligence. And thoughts to reflect. This is one of my favorite quote out of 101 quotes along with me. Some of my coaches who are working with me, we are as a team has given 101 quotes. This is one of that. To be servant leader. That is one of the crux and critical thing that we all as a Scrum Master, Agile coaches, we aim. You have to know and improve your EQ. Otherwise, you never can become a good servant leader. I'm right. And thoughts to reflect. This is a AI guru, so famous AI scientist. What he's telling, as more and more artificial intelligence is entering into the world, which is happening, and more emotional intelligence must enter into leadership. Very depth meaning in that. Once you are going through this course and out of your own knowledge and experiences, you can further get that insights. This is a typical scenario that happens in our corporate worlds, right? Either you take this scenario between a boss and employee or a client and delivery team. And one of the boss is yelling, "Ahoo! What is rubbish status report? What do we expect? What you're delivering?" It could be anything, all right? And there are three different people, and three different people are thinking three different ways. Boss is same, company is same, context is same, but three people thinking three different ways. One is thinking, what does she think about herself? Are we slaves? The other person is thinking, that's okay, yeah, tomorrow she'll be fine. And what will happen to my family if I lose my job? Immediately some person thinking went to somewhere else. What is the key message here? Who is impacting your productivity? Who is impacting your happiness? It is not boss. It is not context. It is not your company. It is your thinking and your response towards the situations. Okay, so that's the key message. So if it is impacting your productivity, so where the correction has to be done at your level. Your actions, your emotions are in your control, not others. That is a secret, known secret to everybody. Now we are getting into the theoretical or framework type of thing. Emotional intelligence, why does it matter? Emotional intelligence gives you an evidence-based framework that helps you show up at best version of yourself. We have been talking about this. Emotional intelligence people, some of you, I saw in the chat, you have absolutely said this one, different emotions you could see. Recognize your emotions, understand what others are telling, and realize how your emotions affect the people around you. And some of you, exact words you have used, they make others feel good. They go through life much more easy than people who are easily angered or upset. The biggest problem is on these two things. One is angry, the other is getting demoralized, demotivated, getting upset, right? So when you are good, you will not do this, then obviously that will have better. So what is the foundation of the emotional intelligence? Self-awareness. As if you are seeing in a mirror, you are able to see yourself. You are able to understand your triggers. That's the reason we did some exercise in the beginning. Once you know, then you will know how to recover from them. Once you know how to recover from them, then you will know how to influence others. And once you are able to do this, you will know what you can achieve. Okay, the foundation is self-awareness. That's why just 1 minute before when I showed the corporate scenario, I said it is not company, not boss or anything. It is me, how I am responding to that situation. Same company, same situation, same boss, same status, three employees thinking differently. That gives the clear message. And these are all things we experience, but maybe we are not connected with the emotional intelligence. And this is the emotional intelligence domain, right? Where Daniel Goleman has brought these 12 factors. The first one is emotional self-awareness. Very intelligently, he used the word called emotional self-awareness. Okay, so actual self-awareness, people who are on spiritual path, you can easily understand. So he tagged to emotional. I'm right. Glad that we need to applaud and appreciate him. Emotional self-awareness. We discussed a lot. Emotional self-control, adaptability, achievement orientation. That's what we just talked about. Positive outlook. See, positive outlook is a very easy thing that everyone says about this. But we need to see when something very disaster, horrible thing happened in your life. Am I still positive? And many times I have seen in the industry, if I don't get any hike, I don't mind. But if my colleague get hike, that matters to me. Correct? So these are all things we experience on the ground. So at that type of situation, or am I positive? Suddenly my project is disrupted. Am I positive? Am I right? So these are some of the reflections that helps us in the life experiences, which has to take them as a notes, life experiences, or Lord Krishna coming in front of you, like in Bhagavad Gita, telling to Arjuna that life experiences giving you this, and then take that as a reflection and see how you want to evolve and be successful. And social awareness, that is about awareness, empathy, and organizational awareness. In all my agile sessions, I keep telling awareness is pivotal. Awareness is paramount. Before you are doing your inspection and adapt, awareness has to be there. That is awareness of your team dynamics, awareness about your organization has to be on your top number one place of your radar. Then do the inspection and adoption, which will have more value. Okay. And the relationship management, which you are able to see, influence this one. If you want to take a screenshot of this, please do that and identify which of the areas you are already doing good, which of the areas you want to improve. Please plan accordingly. If you need anything follow-up discussion with me, please do that. Right. So the relation you could see here, and we are jumping into the other one. Primarily, we all discussed about this: to be self-aware, to focus, empathy, adaptability, positive outlook. Much with examples just now we have discussed. So most important thing here, to exercise emotional balance, being intentional about our experiences and our actions. Right. That's the important thing. And this is more from an exam point of view. If someone is doing some exams related to emotional intelligence, the same thing what we have discussed, just put into a quadrant, talking about self and others. On the top and left hand side, you could see recognize, regulate. So certain elements are for your own recognition and certain elements are for your regulation. That means now how you can manage yourself. That is where the self-management comes, relationship management comes. And the top one is about recognize and be aware of. Right. So the same thing what we discussed here, we've kept here. If you want, take this also as a screenshot, whatever is helpful for you. Make the ticks for yourself. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I need to improve on this. Right. So that will help you. I just said empathy and sympathy. So this is the thing. So empathy is on the emotion, sympathy on the recognition. Okay. Sympathy you acknowledge. In empathy you have similar experiences, personal experience. You are experiencing the feeling of another. In empathy. In sympathy you are only understanding, which is more powerful, which is more important. That's why I said we'll talk in just a few seconds. So make your own notes. I was keep telling about this. And this is another scenario. With this I will hand it over back to PMIPCC. Unless you have some questions or anything, I'm happy to take it. So this is scenario happened. You told 10 times, that guy still came late. What will happen? What will be your first reaction? Very critical meeting. You have been telling to one of your team member to come. This guy never came. And he came late that time also. What you do? Make your own notes. And what actually happens here? Thinking brain versus emotional brain. Never let your emotional brain hijack. That's why I said response to react. The react is your emotional brain. Response is your thinking brain. That's why I said always keep your thinking brain at high. So your emotional brain, either fear, flight, freeze hormones, your body when you are not comfortable, get into threat. That's where you throw the anger or whatever it is. But your thinking brain always try to oppress this one. So at that point of time, you have to do either mindfulness session, go for a chocolate, go for a tea, go for it, whatever you want to do. Right? These hormones will get you this one. This is actually called something called amygdala hijacking. amygdala hijacking. If you have not heard about this one, make a note. So this is something in our brain. There is a part of it which will diffuse. We have to rewire that. I'm a very angry person. I need to overcome that. Not medicine or anything. Certain things we have to rewire. How we have been experiencing, how we have been reacting or responding to certain things. One of the powerful things we practice, that is breathe deeply, focus on the pleasant image. Am I right? So just to tell you, in the brain, that is where it has the amygdala hijack here. Am I right? So this is what taking you to the amygdala hijack. So you have to rewire it so that it is not hijacking, but you are hijacking it. So the remote is not in the control of amygdala, but the remote is in your hand. That is the self-awareness, self-control. Okay. So the other things, these are steps to improve. Take a screenshot. We have been discussing on this. I think we are good with this information. So acknowledge, analyze, accept, reflect, handle your emotions. And once you are able to handle your emotions, you can handle others also. This is from famous quote from Swami Vivekananda. And we keep talking about servant leaders. Am I right? So be the servant leader while leading, be unselfish, have infinite patience, and success is yours. Right? And the same thing in Bhagavad Gita, the emotionally intelligent person, at best they call it as a sthita prajna. Sthita prajna. Am I right? I am not saying we have to be at that level, but at least if we are aiming to that, we can make a 20%, 30%, whatever the improvement, if we can make it, that is absolutely brilliant. The same things what we have discussed, you could see on the right hand side: self-awareness, relationship building, resilience, leadership effectiveness, conflict resolution. And why Gen matters now and in the future. We are in the VUCA world, and Gen, what it is talking about is, it is bringing focus, it is helping you embrace change, making better decisions, increase your well-being, and these are very, very essential for work success. And why we brought Gen, if you have seen and following Gen, our Scrum Alliance guru, who is the guy Jeff Sutherland, right? So he brought a new version, new edition, which is called as Scrum at Sage. Okay, Scrum Sage edition is a new ChatGPT module he has launched very recently, which is bringing the Gen culture. Obviously, it has its roots to our Sanatana, and that is the reason why we thought it is very important. And this is also the core theme of my upcoming book on agile thoughts and emotions, where we talk about saying agile thoughts, leaders, everything. It has to be powered by Gen philosophy, and that is their part of the upcoming book. Very soon you will see that release and also that importance. Happy to collaborate and requesting every one of your support to make my second book also very successful. One of my co-author, Raju Banerjee, is in this call, so he also can share some insights if you wish to over the chat. Okay, so deal with negative emotions. So once you know this is a negative emotion, you are able to label it, then you know the solution. Am I right? So with that, take this as a screenshot, do an exercise for yourself. In a typical day, what all the emotions I'm going through on the left-hand side, put some percentage. No need to be accurate, like you're not going for a scientist exam or anything, but for your understanding, 20%, 30%, whatever it is, and why that is happening. Am I right? This why is connecting back to our initial, the triggers. People, word, place, time, or any other thing. But majorly these are core. And then once you identify that, you know where the correction has to be done. Mostly it is within you, not with outside. Outside world you cannot control. The only thing you can control is within your control. What it is? Your actions, your thoughts, your responses. Remove reactions. Correct? So if you are able to do this, you will evolve as a beautiful version of yourself. That will bring happiness to you. When you are happy, you are spreading that happiness, whoever is there around you. Okay, so it is a reflection time. Make your own notes on whatever you want to do this, and this is the link I'll share in the chat while the PMIPCC team is going to talk. This is from Harvard Business School. You can go through this at your convenience. Talks about what we discussed in a 2-3 minutes video, and these are some of the resources I'll be sharing you over the chat, which can be helpful for you through the life journey. With this, I am handing you over back to PMIPCC, but I'm happy to take if any questions are there. And it's a time for the new results, new beginnings with the new knowledge or enhanced knowledge. Maybe some of you are already good at it. Some point of time to certain level, maybe you can scale to the next level. Yeah. And once again, I'm sharing my LinkedIn QR code. Please, if you want to stay back and stay connected, I'm happy to learn from you, and whatever I know, happy to share that. Okay, back to you, Gopal.
Thank you, Rama. Just a minute, I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Hope you are all seeing the full screen of the slide. In the slide share way. So this is our YouTube channel where we have all the Agile related series sessions that we had over the past couple of years. So please go through the channel and find out all the information related to Agile and get knowledge on it. So with that, I thank you very much, Mr. Krishna Tadepalli, that he has provided us a beautiful session on the emotional intelligence and its importance on our daily life in order to improve ourselves and be a better leader, a servant leader, and also some techniques in how we can improve our emotional intelligence. With that, as a token of appreciation, we honored a thicket of 5 trees on the Simlipal National Park, Odisha, for the tigers. You can view those trees, how they grow with the certificate number as well as in the what do you call map. So thank you very much, Mr. Ramakrishna. It's a pleasure that we had a good session. And with that, we provide some of the announcements that we have from our chapter. We have coming up workshops on PMP and ACP. So please contact our Director of Academy, Seshu Ganti. The email ID is academy@pmi-pcc.org, and the phone number is 9989136831. Please contact if you or any of your friends wants to do a PMP or ACP workshops. And the most important information regarding the PDU, you will be provided a one PDU for attending this session. This PDU will be automatically uploaded to your membership ID. So when you are registering, hope you have provided a PMI ID. If, for example, by mistake, if you provided your PMP certification or any certification ID, I would request you all to send an email to events@pmi-pcc.org with your membership ID, and please give us a week or so to reflect those PDUs in your membership account. And with that, thank you all for joining this session. I appreciate you taking time and joining on a Saturday morning. And we have time for one question. If you have any, please let us know. As of now, I didn't find any questions here.
I have a question. Hi, Prasenjit here. So, okay, as we mature to our journey in this IT world or even any other professional world, so naturally we go through our life experiences and we learn a lot about emotional intelligence and all. But how do you train your team? Like some people who are, let's say the people who are joining the industry in the initial years, they're in their first to fifth year maybe, when everything looks very sparkly and stuff. Like how do you coach them and train them on the emotional intelligence part? Like if somebody did not get the best hike, if somebody did not get the best result or outcome, right?
Yeah. My suggestion, my input is to this generation, never try to coach them in the beginning. Okay. So my input is listen to them before you try to coach them. Don't use the word called emotional intelligence or any tags or any titles to tell them no. This you have that knowledge with you, but listen to them first. Active listening. Once you listen to them, then find the pockets of information in that conversation which you have to pick it up and start mentoring or coaching to them. Start with active listening and then do that. Don't come to a judgment. So that's why we say mindfulness practice the outcome. The crux of the mindfulness is you need to be aware to the judgmental view. Accept as it is. When you are able to keep away your judgment, not easy, but you have to keep practicing that. But the other thing what I said is absolutely many of us might be doing, or you also might be doing. There is no doubt in it. So start listening to them. That is very, very important. The moment you listen, we have to bring our facilitation skills and what you want to convey that should come from their side. When they are able to tell, this is where I want to improve, can you help me? Then you step in. It's not straightforward, very easy, but this is the powerful thing. A combination of things could help in any of the scenario. There is no fixed rule. Context-based, situation-based, team-based, we have to play multiple roles. But in summary, important areas that we have to touch upon, especially if you see Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, the current thing, if you go through these characteristics, you will understand the newbies that are coming into the IT industry. What is that attitude? What is the behaviors? What is that? They don't have patience first, right? There could be exceptions in general, right? So give the space and get that active listening. In that active listening, you get a lot of, they will provide you a lot of insights, a lot of inputs, and that is going to be your arsenal to coach or mentor or guide or train or give some guidelines. That's my view. Thanks for asking. Brilliant question.
Thank you for your answer.
Very powerful, very powerful and brilliant question, I would say.
Thank you, Prasanjit. Thank you, Ramakrishna, for the answer. And as with the time being 15 minutes past our session, I request if you have any other questions, please contact Ramakrishna directly through LinkedIn so that he can give you his guidance or information. With that, I now say this session is over. And thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy.
Namaste. Namaste to everyone. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you.